Have you ever been a part of a team that is stacked, a bunch of really good players, and they seemingly still can't win a game? There could be many reasons that this is happening, but I think this is probably the #1 reason that good teams don't play as well as they could. Today we're going to be talking about how coaches can let their players flow and truly maximize their abilities. So here's what I mean by flow. You've probably seen a video circulate around the internet, and it's of Bruce Lee talking about martial arts, and he's talking about how you have to be like water. You have to flow. Sports like martial arts and baseball, it's essential that we flow. If there is tension in our body, then the kinetic change that we use to produce energy with our body will not be effective. What does this have to do with teams not maximizing their potential, or players not maximizing their potential, even though they are super good in practice? I believe that if there is any emotions of fear or insecurity in a player, then it will hinder the way that they flow on the ball field. So a good example of this is a coach who chews out a player after swinging at a bad pitch. Now in the back of that kid's head, ooh, I better not swing at a bad pitch here on this next one. There's a little bit of fear in their brain, and that is going to cause them to not flow as smoothly if they get a fastball right down the middle. And then they're not going to perform to their best abilities. I have seen so many teams that have been capable of being incredible teams, and ball players who've been capable of being incredible ball players. They crush it in practice, but they get in the game and they lose their flow. So hear me out. I promise this is how you get the most out of your players. Now, I was fortunate enough to coach a JV baseball team last year, and we were not very good. Most of us had never played ball before, but I genuinely felt like we played to the maximum of our potential. Our guys were playing good baseball. Some guys who have never played before were getting hits. We didn't win hardly any games, but I do feel like we played all the way up to our potential. And here's why. I believe the environment that we had allowed people to fail without placing fear in their brains. Example of what this could look like. Someone could swing at a pitch in the dirt and strike out. They know that's bad. I, as the coach, don't have to tell them that that's bad. They get back in the dugout and be like, hey, what were we seeing there? And they're like, oh, it looked like a fastball and I messed up. And be like, okay, no worries. Hey, in front toss, I got a drill for you tomorrow we could work on. When you have that kind of mentality, it's a growth mentality, and it's okay to fail, and there's no longer any fear placed in a ball player's head, and allows them to flow smoothly. One more example that I'll give you of this, and this is a really big example. I used to do wedding photography, okay, and I promise this ties in. I used to do wedding photography, and when I would take photos of clients, I would make sure that I'd always hype them up, because what I learned very quickly is if you tell your client, I don't really like how you look a little awkward here in that photo, the second you tell them that, the photos for the rest of the day will be super awkward. Why? Because there's fear and insecurity, and they're not able to flow. So when you get onto a ball field, don't place any insecurity in the minds of your players. Let them flow and give them confidence, and be there as a resource if they want to talk and ask questions, but don't be the reason that they have fear or insecurity in their brain. Coach, express your belief in your players and watch them flow. Coach RAC with Headbanger Sports, and we'll see you guys next week.